You're listening to Beyond the Newspeak, a weekly program aimed at unpacking the rhetoric, the spin, and, as Orwell would detest, the newspeak. We look back on the previous week of a campaign trail and put a spotlight on the PR slip-ups, a magnifying glass on the policies, and I'll be talking with key opinion makers. You can listen to this program online on our online newspaper platform, and I'd love to hear any suggestions my listeners may have in coming weeks. So write in, text us, or even call on in. This is the forum in which democracy's muscles are truly flexed. So let's get into it. The election is looming in May, and we've seen some of the candidates come forward in recent times. Algester is already looking like a strong battleground between the two major parties. Labor positioning itself as the get in and do it party, and their candidate Jonathan Kevin Cass has nominated Queensland roads, the unstable healthcare system, and education as some key issues that will be tackled in their campaign. On the other side of the political fence, the LNP are looking like a strong force nonetheless, though we've yet to hear from them and see what are key issues they'll be running in this campaign, so I'm excited to hear from them. For the Sunnybank seat, there's rumoured to be some independents and minor parties looking to get in on the action, and this will be sure to add to the dynamism of the always fascinating battle for this seat. Our news team spoke recently with the Labor candidate from Sunnybank, Hope Hart, who says she'll be addressing a range of community and family issues. We're going across to one of our chief political correspondents now, Hayden Hughes, for further details. So Hayden, you spoke with Hope, the ALP candidate for Sunnybank, earlier on. What are your impressions of her campaign presence so far?
Well, look, she's very friendly mother of two, looking to be known as the heart of Sunnybank, I guess. That's the fund she's running on. She doesn't seem to be showing any real policy initiative at the moment. She's just sort of running on her charisma. I mean, to her credit, I guess that'll go far in a campaign like this and this early. I mean, what I've got to really compliment her on is she's got a really good social media presence at the moment. She's got a Facebook page and a Twitter page. And for what I've seen, she's the most switched-on candidate so far. It's been 5 days in the campaign, and no one else has really done anything, from my knowledge.
So it'll be interesting to see how they use the media as an instrument of communication then.
Yeah, well, I mean, at this stage, she looks set to do well within the seat, given that no one else from that seat has really stood forward yet. From my knowledge, the Liberals in that seat haven't really put anyone forward, and there's a rumour going around they haven't even got a campaign manager yet.
Really? Okay, so there could be a bit of turmoil going on there. I was interested. I was listening to your interview with Hope, and she identified a key issue as being family when you spoke with her. What do you think family means in this day and age? What is family exactly to them?
Well, I mean, that's a hot button issue with a lot of people these days, especially in a seat like Sunnybank, where family is, of course, one of the key priorities. But how she's going to put her love of her family into a policy, we'll have to see.
Certainly. And she also mentioned traffic as a concern. We'll have a look now at what she said about the Kessels Road intersection.
Okay, so the key issues for me, living in Sunnybank all my life, I've realised that traffic flow is a really big issue, specifically Mains Road and Kessels Road. The traffic flow through there. For me, that's something really important. And the safety and affordability of our local transport for the uni students, even for the elderly, from getting from A to B to the nearest shopping centre. That's a big issue.
Do you think Hope realises there's actually already a major underpass in construction phase at the moment for that often congested part of Sunnybank?
Well, I guess it's the way of the opposition to simply just jump on any issue that they feel that would resonate with the public. I mean, it's basically a case of, we want more. Like, I remember back in the student elections, for Griffith, there was a party called the More Party, and I'm thinking, well, more of what? And I guess in this case, it's simply, we'll try and sort of blindside the voters with some kind of, big show and dance routine about saying, it's not enough, when really, if we looked into the issue, I'm sure we'd find that the roadworks are satisfactory.
Certainly. And you spoke with her about her ethnic heritage. She says she'll keep this issue simple.
just a question here. You say your mother was second generation Australian from China. How do you feel that will influence your campaign?
I mean, I try to keep it simple as possible, and I don't think having that will affect my campaign. I mean, one of my main points of the campaign is to help the families, and that's regardless of what their nationality and stuff is.
Well, what do you think this means when it's such a, Sunnybank having the second highest proportion of overseas-born residents and the second highest proportion of people speaking a language other than English at home? How do you think it could be such a simple issue as that?
Well, that's what I brought up in that case. That if the street signs have more than one language on them, then why aren't your campaign buttons and how to vote cards have more than one language on them? And she didn't seem to be able to answer that. And I think that's going to become more apparent as we go on as to how not only Hope Hart but the other candidates are really going to approach that issue. I mean, are they going to be translators at the voting booths? Who knows?
Certainly, because it's important they cater for this demographic being such a multicultural electorate. So, Hayden, how's everything else looking on the campaign trail? Any word from any other parties on what issues they'll be running? Have you spoke with any of the other candidates yet?
Well, it's not spoken so much, but I mean, we've been getting statements from the other Labor candidate for Alcester, which looks to be a very contentious seat. And last night I got a statement from Will Fortitude, who's the incumbent for Alcester. And to my knowledge, I can't remember a single thing that he's done in his past term. So I think that's somewhere his campaign will have to really go in, or the direction that campaign will have to go in, given that a lot of the voters will be sort of perplexed as to what he's been doing for the past 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, and he's really going to have to fight his case hard in being re-elected in that sense then.
Well, of course. I mean, we've got Jonathan K. Cass, and his whole campaign is Mr. Fix-It, John will do it. And he's looking being steamrolled, basically, Will Fortitude, if he can't come up with the goods.
Should be a very exciting campaign yet to come. Well, I look forward to talking to you more about it. Thanks very much for your time, Hayden.
Always a pleasure, Gavin.
That was Hayden Hughes, one of our political correspondents, and I was predicting it seems the Labor candidates have been very accessible journalists from the get-go, possibly because the ALP is on the nose federally and they're trying to patch this up on a state level, though I've had some tweets in saying that we need to take a cold shower on these polls, so it's anyone's competition right now. That brings us to the end of the program for this week. Thanks for listening to Beyond the Newspeak. I'm Gavin Coote. To keep up to date with the current affairs as they go along with the campaign, follow our newspaper online or our Twitter page. Thanks very much for listening. Good night.